More information starts to seep out as we get closer to the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation coming on April 2nd, and it seems like there's some new features that's going to be on the Nintendo Switch 2 that was not enabled on the Nintendo Switch 1, at least through normal means. So let's go ahead and jump right into what we're talking about here. Some brand new FCC filings have shown some interesting features here with the Nintendo Switch 2. We know about the NFC near field communication feature that's been on Nintendo systems with the Nintendo 3DS, or more like the new Nintendo 3DS, the Wii U, Nintendo Switch, and now it seems like the Nintendo Switch 2 will also have that for Amiibo support. In addition to that, it looks like Wi-Fi 6 will be available for the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, which would be a definitely much needed upgrade over the current Wi-Fi that's not quite as good on the Nintendo Switch 1. Now, for those who are a little bit more tech savvy, there is Wi-Fi 7 that's came out that's really good. I actually just bought a Wi-Fi 7 router, but most products don't have the Wi-Fi 7 at this point, and most people probably don't have Wi-Fi 7 routers. Now, also, it doesn't seem like there's going to be support for Wi-Fi 6E, which is the faster or the 6 gigahertz band, but once again, it is an upgrade over the Nintendo Switch 1, which definitely did not have this Wi-Fi 6. And I think that's one of the, I would say, weak points for some people at least, is that they were having trouble connecting the Nintendo Switch to their router, depending on how far away they were, what stuff was interfering from it. Some people had to buy Wi-Fi extenders to use it. I never really had too much of a problem, but I always had a pretty good quality, like Netgear Nighthawk. I have a new router now that's a mesh Wi-Fi 7. It has like all the latest stuff in there, and it connects pretty well to my Nintendo Switch 1. But definitely a new Wi-Fi technology was absolutely needed, and it seems like it's going to be delivered here. Now, the NFC communication stuff, that's awesome just because you want to have that same backwards compatibility that you have with all the different Amiibo figurines and Super Smash Brothers and various games that support it, and of course going forward as well. Amiibo was very forward thinking too, because if you still have that near field communication, you can still implement Amiibo into various different games, and they've released like hundreds of figures over the years, or various different types of models and stuff of the Amiibos. So I do think that it's very good that it also has that. I like the fact that Nintendo is upgrading some of the stuff here. It would have been nice if it was the latest, but at the same time, I do think that they're trying to look at cost as well when it comes to like Wi-Fi 6 versus Wi-Fi 7 and all of that. And you also have to look at it in like when the Nintendo Switch was put together too. Like Wi-Fi 7 is fairly new overall. The Nintendo Switch 2 was probably a couple years back or so in terms of when they had to finalize what they were going to use for the hardware. But yeah, overall, once again, definitely a upgrade over it. And another thing is that overall, like the Nintendo Switch 2 is shaping up to be a very competent, definitely much more improved Nintendo Switch with a lot of new things that they still haven't shown yet, and features and upgrades. So definitely excited about that. Now, I also want to get into the next thing here, which is another patent that there could be an overhaul when it comes to features with the Nintendo Switch 2, and that is the integrated voice chat. But before we get into the integrated voice chat, I need all of you guys that aren't subscribed to integrate into the channel by hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it if you do. Also hit that like button in addition to clicking that notification bell to get my vids as soon as they drop, and let me know what you're most excited about when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 in the comment section below. Now let's go ahead and jump into this when it comes to integrated voice chat and potential even proximity chat with the Nintendo Switch 2. So people are going over all these different patents and everything and looking for every single bit of information that they can see here, and it looks like there's going to be a pretty big change over the current Nintendo Switch when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. So Nintendo Switch 1 does support voice chat for a number of games, but it's really weird in how it does it. You have to download the Nintendo Switch Online app in order to get voice chat. It's a mobile app. People don't like it. The quality is pretty good because you're not using it through the same system and all that, and it frees up some resources on the Nintendo Switch when it comes to RAM, but at the same time, it's still not ideal in terms of having your phone there. People would absolutely like integrated voice chat like Nintendo's had in the past on the Wii U and the Wii, and even the Nintendo DS. But it seems like there is going to be a better solution here. Nintendo has apparently filed a patent in the United States in November of last year, and it was officially published about a month ago or so. And in the document, it goes over implementing proximity chat in games. This would point to the OS chat integration and the use of proximity chat in first-party games. Now, we still have to wait and see for that, but I would absolutely like for them to do this just for all the people that have been complaining about this. So I do think that it would be good. Now, I've fully moved over to Discord and I don't talk to randoms and all of that. Like, I like Discord and how it works, like having it on multiple different platforms and all of that, but I get it for people who just want to have that experience right there with their friends and integrating it better. And we've had this when it comes like to the Xbox 360, the PS3, heck, even the original Xbox overall. So having this on the Nintendo Switch 2 shouldn't be a problem. I do feel that the huge bump in RAM in terms of what Nintendo's doing and also them solidifying what they're doing with NSO could absolutely lead to it being integrated, but we have to just wait and see, just because you never know, there might be some type of thing that they want to use. But yeah, proximity chat would be cool for certain games. I think it would work really well for stuff like Among Us or other types of games like Splatoon, having that proximity chat. I mean, having overall chat would be good too, but hearing what your enemy's saying as well. So there's definitely some good uses for it. There are some games on the Nintendo Switch 1 that have integrated voice chat through their own client. For example, like Fortnite. You can voice chat in Fortnite, no problem. You plug in a headset, as long as it has a microphone, boom, you can voice chat right there. So there are some games that have it dedicated and integrated into it, but Nintendo needs to have their own overall system when it comes down to it. There's nothing like that on the Nintendo Switch 1, and it looks like the Nintendo Switch 2 could be making that jump here, but I'm pretty sure Nintendo's going to do something, because people say all sorts of crazy and vile things online, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of way that Nintendo's going to have to work around that, whether it's through like the parental app and making sure that that's disabled until you enable it with the code or something. So I'm guessing that there's going to be some type of safe measures put in play, but it does seem like integrated voice chat is going to be a part of the Nintendo Switch 2 based off of this. But once again, let's wait and see to find out exactly what Nintendo's planning. All right, let's talk about what Square Enix is going to be planning when it comes to the 30th anniversary of my favorite game of all time, and that is Chrono Trigger. Now, I did do a video about this recently discussing the potential or the possibility, because of the 30th anniversary, because Square Enix has been incredibly quiet when it comes to certain things, when it comes to Chrono Trigger, that, yeah, they're bringing it back. And it looks like there could be something planned here that Square Enix is being tight-lipped about. So Chrono Trigger does celebrate its 30th anniversary today, and there's various projects that are planned when it comes down to it. So Chrono Trigger is a timeless game. It first launched back on the Super Famicom in 1995, celebrating its 30th anniversary on March 11th, the day that I'm recording this video, and most of you guys will see it, in Japan. And there is a celebration post on the Twitter account where Square Enix said users can look forward to various developments that go beyond the world of the game throughout the next year. Quote, "To mark the 30th anniversary and to express our gratitude to everyone who has played Chrono Trigger so far, we are planning a variety of projects over the next year that will go beyond the world of the game," reads the post. Please look forward to the latest information, which will be posted via the Square Enix official X and Chrono Trigger PR accounts. Now, a special live stream featuring music from Chrono Trigger soundtracks will be held on March 14th at 7 p.m. PT/10 p.m. ET until March 15th at 4 a.m. PT/7 a.m. ET. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube. Chrono Trigger is currently available for PC via Steam, iOS, and Android. Ports of the game were also released for the original PlayStation and Nintendo DS. Now, I want to talk about this because I do feel that Square Enix could be planning an HD 2D remake of Chrono Trigger when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 that could be announced at the Nintendo Switch 2 April Direct, or it could be announced later at a Nintendo Direct. I just think this is going to happen just because we've seen so many big things over the last number of years with Square Enix and Nintendo and what they've been able to do teaming up to bring together classic RPGs or classic style RPGs to the gaming industry to great success. If you look back, look at Octopath Traveler, over 3 million units sold. Look at Live Alive. Nintendo specifically asked for that game to be brought back. why couldn't they do the same thing with Chrono Trigger? Triangle Strategy, over 1 million units on the Nintendo Switch as well. So there's been various HD 2D remakes, HD 2D games that have done well in terms of marketing, announcements, and I would say just putting it out there on the Nintendo Switch. You also have to look at Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake and how explosive the sales were on the Nintendo Switch platform by itself, not even counting the PlayStation and Xbox overall. Like, if you just look at the Nintendo Switch in Japan. So I do feel that they are going to make a big splash. They could announce something with Nintendo, because this game is way too good just to be left doing nothing. It's way too good, and there's no way that Square Enix is just going to leave this game, especially with the 30th anniversary, and not announce anything. No type of tease or anything for a game. I think it's coming potentially at the Nintendo Switch 2 April Direct, or at a Nintendo Direct later in the year, or at some point. I think it's going to happen within this 30th anniversary time span that they are giving here. But what do you guys think about Chrono Trigger? And of course, check out my video where I went in depth into talking about why I think Chrono Trigger is going to be coming back. That video will be linked in the comment section. But let's go ahead and move on to this next topic here, and that is another one of my favorite developers with Hideki Kamiya and his studio Clovers, and how they're not only going to be focused on sequels, despite people highly anticipating the Okami sequels. So Clover Studios boss Hideki Kamiya and his former Platinum colleague Kento Koyama have participated in a new interview with Japanese news site GameSpark to talk about their future plans. There's definitely a ton of anticipation when it goes on to what they're going to be doing next, especially with the Okami franchise, as a huge sequel has been announced, and which was awesome to see as well. However, despite them going back and working on Okami after a decade plus, they're not only going to be focused on resurrections and sequels, according to the studio. Koyama first said this: "There's a clear idea there, and we think that, quote, we do not close all possibilities in making games. When you want to make an interesting game as a company, it may be interesting to make a sequel to the series as well as a new IP, or you may think that you are interested in making some kind of spiritual successor. Basically, I don't think there is anything to limit the approach to the policy of creating interesting games." Kamiya also had this to add in here: "That's exactly right. It's already funning or not. For example, if there's a story about making a game using existing IP, if it seems interesting to Clover's Nice in our own way, we will do it. Of course, we will make a proposal according to the desire to make something like this ourselves, and if the momentum of doing it by all means increases, we will also do original works. So the expression that does not close all possibilities is appropriate. I think it's cut. The point is whether we are scared or not." So yeah, Clovers definitely has big anticipation for the Okami sequel, but also branching off and creating their own path when it comes to a company, and probably doing many things that they felt that they could have done better at Platinum Games, but maybe it ballooned up, or they had problems financially, or there was other things that was going on. There was so much stuff that happened at Platinum Games over the years that's been documented here and there in some of the friction and turmoil. But I think that Hideki Kamiya has a fresh start here. They have a fresh start. They've got a new company. They can do things in a way that's going to be right by them. And at the end of the day, that's all you could ask for when it comes to creating these type of games. But I'm really looking forward to the Okami sequel, and I'm looking forward to what they're going to do in the future. I've played the majority of Hideki Kamiya's games, and most of them I like, so I think he's going to put the gameplay experience first. He's going to put players first overall, and he's going to create something that's going to be really fun and interesting, not just with this Okami sequel, but beyond, and what they do afterwards. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed here, from the new Nintendo Switch 2 features to potentially Chrono Trigger coming back with the HD 2D remake and the 30th anniversary, and of course Clover's here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch, RPG videos, and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.